Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, text 11. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreya paramavapsyataha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifice, will also please you. Thus nourishing one another, they will reign general prosperity for all. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. The supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity are entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajnas by the human being. Some of the yajnas are meant for satisfying particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yajnas. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of the Yagnapati is the chief purpose of all yajnas. When these yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of the different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the supply of natural products. Performance of yajna has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from the material bondage. By performance of yajnas, all activities become purified. As it is stated in the Vedas, Ahara Shuddhau Sattva Shuddhihi, Sattva Shuddhau Dhruva Smriti, Smriti Lambhe Sarva Granthinam Vipramokshaha. As it will be explained in the following verses, by performance of yajna, one's eatables become sanctified, and by eating sanctified foods, one's very existence becomes purified. By the purification of existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified, and when memory is sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation. And all these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present-day society. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
Pleased by sacrifices will also please you, thus nourishing one another, it will reign general prosperity for all.
Yes, this is very important. The Godless Society, they are thinking that everything is being done by nature. Nature is there, but there is a controller of nature. Just like this electricity. Electricity is natural power, but there is a powerhouse and there is a resident engineer. Similarly, everything supplied by nature, water supply, heat supply, air. So there is a controller, and he is called demigod. They are all appointed servants by the Supreme Lord. It is simply foolishness that nature is working automatically. This is rascaldom. They do not know. The so-called scientists who are thinking that everything is going on automatically. Yes, it is going on automatically, just like the government affairs are going on automatically. A child can say that everything is going automatically, but A person who knows the government, the constitution, he knows how departmental management are going on. That is the difference between the so-called foolish person and one who knows the things. One who knows the things, he knows that everything is controlled by a person. That person is called demigod. So we have to satisfy. Well, therefore the yajna, sacrifice is recommended. So that is mentioned here. The demigod being pleased by sacrifices. Just like to the income tax officer. If you pay regularly your income tax, then there is no trouble. Everything will go on. Otherwise, the state will enforce to exact income tax. So we are receiving heat from the sun. Similarly, we are receiving rains. Don't you think that we have to pay some tax? That is required. That is enjoined in Vedic literature. You must. Therefore, so many sacrifices are recommended. If we do not offer those sacrifices, then there will be irregularity of rain, irregularity of heat, excessive heat, excessive cold, and people will suffer. This is the process. They do not know it. Read it, part.
Of course. The demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs.
Yes, the demigods are empowered administrators of material affairs. How can you deny the existence of demigod? Wow.
The supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintenance of the body and soul of every living entity are entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Just like my body, different limbs are working and helping me. I want to go somewhere. The limbs or the part which is called leg, they will carry me. Similarly, by the supreme order of Krishna, all these demigods are acting just like my different parts of the body are acting. Yes, go on.
Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajnas by human beings. Some of the yajnas are meant for satisfying the particular demigods, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary.
Just like if you obey the department, say the police department, you are obeying the police department means you are obeying the government. Nobody can manufacture a police department and force you to obey. Because it is one of the important department of government, therefore, as soon as there is police hands up, you have to stop. You may be very rich man, millionaire, but you have to obey the orders of the police, otherwise you will be prosecuted. And where from? That man is an ordinary man. Simply he stops you. How? Why do you stop? Because you obey the government. Similarly, all obeisances offered to the demigods, they are meant for giving obeisances to the Supreme Lord. That is the beginning.
It is stated also in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is the beneficiary of all kinds of yajnas.
Yes, taxes. Treasury Department collecting taxes. That is not the tax officer or the treasurer is collecting for his personal self. He is collecting for the government. Similarly, these demigods accepting these different kinds of sacrifices, they are on account of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, ultimately you have to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So, in this age, it is very difficult to satisfy all the demigods differently. People are so much harassed. The best thing is to satisfy directly the Supreme Lord. And what is that simple method? Just chant Hare Krishna. Because we are so fallen in this age, the simple chanting of glorification of the Lord will be equal to performances of all kinds of sacrifice. That is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavata. Jaggai Sankirtanai Prai Jajanti Sumedhas. Those who are, because each kind of sacrifice, they are very costly affairs. It is not possible in this age. Tons of butter, ghee wanted to arrange for a sacrifice. It is very difficult to find out a pound of butter in a house. And where is the question of tons? Of course, in your country, still butter is available. But in India, practically butter is finished. So in one day, the whole world will not see any more butter or rice or wheat. Everything will be finished, because with the age of advancement of the age of Kali, everything will deteriorate so badly that all supplies will be stopped actually. At that time, people will live just like animals. So this is the only means, Krishna consciousness, that in this age, simply, in whatever condition you may be, you can simply sit down and chant. There is no expense. There is no loss. Simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And all demigods and the Supreme Personality of God, everyone will be satisfied. You will have no difficulty. This is the program of Krishna consciousness. Wow.
Bhaktaram yajna tapasam. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of the Lord is the chief purpose of all yajnas. When these sacrifices are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of the different departments of supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity in the flow of natural products.
Yes. Because after all, however tractor, machine or farm arrangement you may make, unless there is supply of heat and water, it is all useless. You cannot produce grains just like wheat or rice or pulses in your factory or by your will, defying the nature's law. Oh, that you cannot do. Your life is in the hands of the demigods. If they stop supply, sunshine, if they stop supply, water supply, how you can produce? Therefore you have to satisfy them. People are practically forgotten their duty, therefore they are suffering. Otherwise, if they follow the rules and regulations, there is no scarcity. The modern theory, the population has increased. This is a nonsense theory. If there is production is sufficient, what is the question of population increasing? Let population increase. The supply I will give you. In the Vedic literature we find Eka Bahunam Vidadhati Kama. That Supreme Lord is supplying everyone food. Why do you think of human society? What is the human society? Out of 8,400,000 forms of life, there are only 400,000 forms of human life. And 8 million forms, they are lower animals, birds, beasts, aquatic. Who is supplying their foodstuff? Everyone is sumptuously fed by the grace of God. Why not you? You are suffering because you are disobeying. Therefore you are suffering. That you should know. Only the suffering population theory, this theory, that theory is only the human society. Because they are regularly defying the existence of God. Science, science, science. Now there are so many suffering people. Why your science cannot provide them food? So this is wrong theory. You have to satisfy the supreme supply. Then you get sufficient production and you'll be happy. God.
Performance of yajnas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from the material bondage. By performance of sacrifice, all activities become purified, as is stated in the Vedas.
Yes. When you perform, just like we are performing here, sacrifice of Sankirtan, everything you will find here purified. In this temple, you go corner to corner, you will find everything sanctified, purified. Why? Because here this sacrifice of Sankirtan is being performed. So as soon as you take up the process of sacrifice, automatically everything will be hygienic, purified, health, wealth, everything, complete. God.
As will be explained in the following verse, by performance of yajnas, the eatables become sanctified, and by eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified.
Yes, even George Bernard Shaw, he has written, you are what you eat. Your body is purified or impurified according to the foodstuff you eat. Therefore we forbid, don't eat this, don't eat that. You have got sufficient food, grains, meal, butter and fruits, sufficient. Why should you eat meat? That is not sanctified. But this is nature's product, offered to Krishna, and you eat, and you become healthy and sanctified in mind, in body. Then you can understand Krishna consciousness, you can make progress in that way. If your body is not sanctified, it is impure, how can you understand the pure consciousness or Krishna consciousness? Therefore we have to follow these principles, regulations. Yeah.
By the purification of existence, the finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And memory being sanctified, one can think of the path of liberation.
Just like in our contaminated state, we become diseased. What is disease? As soon as you contaminate or infected by some impure thing, you become diseased. Similarly, this disease, material disease, birth, death, old age, they are some kind of disease. Otherwise, I am spirit, soul, I am pure as God, because I am part and parcel of God. Due to my impurities of this material body, I am suffering. So if you purify your existence, then you get the quality in complete pureness of God. You become happy. Anandamaya abhyasat, Satchidananda vigraha, you become jolly. Brahma bhuta prasannatma. As soon as you purify yourself and becomes identified with the existence of God, immediately become joyful, no anxiety. Brahma bhuta prasanna. So you have to purify your existence. If you keep your body impurified, then how you can relish the purified consciousness? So we have to do it. Go on.
All these together lead to Krishna consciousness, the great necessity of present-day society. 12. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, supply all needs to man. But he who enjoys these gifts without offering the demigods in return is certainly a thief.
Yes. Just see, a strong word is used. Suppose there is mention, there is a recommendation that you should perform Surya Yoga. Surya means the sun. The sun is supplying you so much heat, warm, and don't you want to give him some tax or satisfying by sacrifices? So that is our duty. If you are receiving from me so many things, and if you do not at least acknowledge your gratitude, then you are a thief. We are receiving so many benefits through the agents of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and if we do not acknowledge Him, though God is great, He is so kind, in spite of our so many faults, He is supplying us nice food stuff, nice everything. So how much ungrateful the human society has become, just imagine. And they want peace and prosperity. Nonsense. Where is peace and prosperity? You must suffer. You must suffer. That is your due.
13. The devotees of the Lord are released from all sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice.
Yes, devotees, how much they are grateful. Krishna Prasad. Krishna, you have sent so nice fruit, nice flower, first of all you enjoy. Oh, God is very satisfied. Just like a boy. My dear father, this sweet meat is very nice, you take. A father knows the sweet meat was purchased by him where the boy can get the sweet meat. But because this son is offering to the father in love and affection, father says, oh, give me, it's very nice. Therefore, we cannot offer any Krishna. Krishna is self-sufficient. He does not require your offering of this food stuff, that food. But if you offer with affection and love, he accepts. And as soon as Krishna accepts, your life is sanctified immediately. Therefore, we should eat Krishna Prasadam, nothing more. Not in the hotel, not in the restaurant. Simply Krishna Prasadam. That will keep me purified, always.
Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin.
Yes. Simply, the nice foods are palatable dishes. You can prepare palatable dishes for Krishna. There are hundreds and thousands of preparation. But as soon as you prepare for yourself, or you try to satisfy your tongue, then you are bound up by the laws of nature. Anything. That because that is sinful. Sinful. If you do not acknowledge the authority, you do not feel your gratitude for the supply, then you are a thief. Especially it is mentioned. It is thief. I am taking your things, I am eating, but I am not feeling any gratitude for you. Then I am a thief. Yes, God.
14. All living bodies subsist on food grains. Food grains are produced from rains. Rains come from performance of sacrifice, and sacrifice is born of man's work.
This is a cycle. Cycle. We are living on food grains. We cannot live on meat eating. It is not possible. However, a great meat eater, maybe, he must have some grains, some vegetables. That is his life. Yes. Therefore, grains, vegetables, they are actually our food. Now, I am living and getting energy by eating grains and vegetables. And how my energy should be utilized? It should be utilized for the purpose from where I am getting energy. I am getting energy from the Supreme Lord by supply of this food stuff. Therefore, my energy should be utilized for the service of the Supreme Lord. That is called sacrifice. So I should be strong enough to offer sacrifice to the Lord. By sacrifice, the demigods, the Lord will be pleased and there will be sufficient rain. There will be again production. Again you will eat. Again you will get strength. Again you will offer Sankirtan. This cycle must go on. This cycle. You get from the Supreme Lord supply by His natural ways, you get strength, and your strength should be utilized not for sense gratification. Because I am now very stout and strong, let me enjoy senses. Then you are sinful. And if you use your strength for satisfying the Supreme Lord, then your energy is properly utilized. This is the way.
15. Activity, karma, arises from the Vedas, and Vedas spring from the Supreme Godhead. Therefore, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Purport. Yajnata karma, or the necessity for work for the satisfaction.
Yogyartha karma. Yajna means sacrifice, artha for the purpose of, and karma, fruitive activity. Everyone is engaged in some activity. But what shall be the purpose of such activity? Yajnartha. Yajnartha means simply to satisfy Lord Vishnu or Krishna. That should be the purpose. Yajnartha karma.
We have to work for the satisfaction of the Yajna Purusha, Vishnu. Then we must find the direction of work in Brahman or the transcendental Vedas. The Vedas are therefore codes of working direction. Anything performed without...
Just like you get license to do some business. Why? The government gives you license to do some business. That means if you want to do business, you must satisfy the government. You cannot do whimsically. You cannot do. This is Veda. One who is law-abiding subject. Similarly, anyone who is following the codes of Vedas or scriptures, he is actually working. Otherwise, persons who are violating is becoming implicated, criminals. Similarly, if we defy the rules and regulations of Vedas or scripture, then we are being implicated, the criminals, for being punished. Therefore, work should be yajnat, for the satisfaction of Vishnu or the Supreme Government. That should be the mode of work.
Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called Vaikarma,
Vikarma.
or unauthorized work, or sinful work.
Yeah.
Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be
The
safe.
same example, as I always cite, that your direction is keep to the right. That if you don't keep to the right, if you go to the left, then it is vikarma. Your driving is unlawful. You are immediately. Similarly, as soon as we perform vikarma, karma, vikarma, akarma, there are three kinds of work. So vikarma means against the rules. So as soon as we act against the rules, immediately we are bound up by the criminal codes. Therefore, if we work for the Supreme Government, Krishna, simply for his satisfaction, there is no vikarma, there is no criminality. There is no criminality. Because ultimately, the Supreme Lord is to be satisfied. So if you work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, you are not subjected to any criminal law. You are free. That is liberation. God.
As one has to work in ordinary life by the direction of the state, similarly, one has to work on the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. Such instructions in the Vedas are directly manifested from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, all the four Vedas, namely the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Artara Veda, are emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead. The Lord, being potent, can speak by his breathing air, as is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita.
We should not think how it is that Lord gave his laws through breathing. Because with breathing we cannot speak anything. That means I am calculating the strength of God with my capacity. The Brahma Samhita says, no, angani jassa sakalendriya viktimanti. Every part, every limb of the body of Krishna, the Supreme Personality, can act of other limbs. Just like I can see through the eyes only. But Krishna can see through his finger also. That is his omnipotency. Omnipotency means every limb has got the potency of all other limbs. That is called omnipotency. We speak of omnipotency, but we do not know the meaning of omnipotency. This is omnipotency. That by his glance, God created this world by his glance. Sa Khata, Sa Asyajata, these are Vedic hymns. So, we can say that how is that? Simply God saw and there was creation. Yes, that is omnipotence. Why do you think in terms of your capacity? That is materialism. As soon as you think of God in my capacity, that is materialism. You have to accept, as it is said in the Vedas, then you understand what is God. Otherwise you cannot.